All right, so I guess it's showtime. All right, so I didn't write down any notes for this meditation, but there's been a couple things that are circling in my brain, okay, that I would like to get out during this video recording. We're not going to be doing readings with cards. We're just going to go straight from the dome, okay? I want to also make it clear that anything that I'm sharing here is a consciousness of Meek the Minx, me, in this vessel. I humbly take any lessons that come. Okay, I'm still learning. I'm still in the progress of attaining knowledge. I'm just showing my level of consciousness into the ether. Okay, so take everything with a grain of salt. Make sure that you are checking everything that I'm saying against the pillar of truth within your own heart. Within your own heart. Okay, I recommend doing that with everybody that you're taking in their stream of consciousness with. Okay, not every stream of consciousness comes from a place that is actually uniting with your heart space in your particular soul journey. Okay, remember, as long as we can see someone speaking in flesh, remember that they can be compromised. Okay. All right, so just take everything I'm saying. Again, if it's giving you that vibration, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy to connect some dots neurologically in your system. Okay, if not, leave it alone. And if you feel the need to, of course, have your own channel, express your level of consciousness, and then if it was an alignment for me to see it, I will see it and correct and amend whatever thought processes that have led me down a path of destruction or one of not of harmony. Okay? Okay. So I want to touch on first this idea that I kind of lightly mentioned in my last video that I posted about having fun. And again, because I keep hearing neural knowledge in my brain because I have downloaded certain levels of his consciousness, okay, just via YouTube. And there's certain things, again, when I check it against my own pillars, they're like, my cells are like, that's not right what he's saying. So I know behind, like, you know, he has some really solid stuff behind all of like the homoerotic jokes and stuff. But there were some things that he mentioned that was kind of going back and forth in my brain. And that's why I think I mentioned it in the last video of my consciousness, was this idea that, hey, it's not about whether or not you are smoking or drinking. He's like, I did that the other day and I'm just fine. See, I'm still in my reality and da da da. And I don't think that that's necessarily incorrect. I'm talking about the idea of when something's in excess, right? Anything that's imbalanced brings forth a cancer. It starts breaking down, okay? So you must live your life within balance. But what does that balance look like for you, okay? When you intake certain things into your body, it causes free radicals, right? To knock imbalance other cells in your body. That's how you get cells. That's how you get cancer. I'm sorry. Right? This is not new knowledge. Okay. All of this is already existing. So I know the idea of like the placebo effect. The placebo effect, meaning if I give you a sugar pill, right, and you think that this is helping, then your body regenerates. Now, I personally am not sure how. I haven't really read any studies or downloaded any consciousness about particularly that. Like, can you come back from the grave by just believing something to be fixed, like internally, right? And can you continuously put the thing that's causing damage inside of your body, right, and still, I guess, flourish? Okay. I mean, like, yes, I've heard of people come back from cancer by changing their diet, changing their routine, right? And that could have been the linkage that caused their consciousness to be like, I've changed these areas in my life. And so I can reprogram my cells in order for the cancerous cells to die. It is possible, right? I'm just trying to figure out, where does the science of the matter meet the spiritual fact in the, I guess, the metaphysical world, right? Because if whether or not I believe something or not, there is something that's going on in the subconscious mind. So, for example, if I decide to pick up cigarettes, right? I personally, when I was younger, when I was a child, I hated the smell of cigarette smoke. So that's the basis already, right? Like the fundamental didn't know nothing about no cigarettes, didn't know that it was bad for you, nothing like that. The smell of it made me want to throw up. Okay, now I'm not talking about like true tobacco, right? Because there's something about true tobacco that's not like chemically altered. There's that smell of that. That smells like earth. That smells like something. Yes, let me take a little bit of this, right? Not encouraging it. I'm just telling you, my senses, the senses that God has given me, was like, yes, this smells good. This smells bad, right? Kind of like when you go places and you're like, you know which foods you want to eat. You know which foods you don't want to eat, right? Based off your cells. Your body is all operating in one, right? It's all operating in one. I'll slow down. When I start mumbling my words, it's because I'm thinking faster than I'm talking. So I'll slow it down. But yes, your senses tell you which foods you want to eat, what foods you don't want to eat. This is why when you're younger, your mother kind of programs you, right? Your environment also programs you subtly in your subconsciousness for you to crave certain foods, want to try certain foods, and then like you attach those memories now, the nostalgia with certain foods, even if they may not be good for you. Okay? So if as a child, you only have the memory of smelling rum on your mother's mouth. I'm not saying this is me. I'm just saying that I heard it. I'm not saying this is me. I'm just giving an example. Okay. If you, when you're a baby, you remember smelling rum on on your mother's mouth when she showed you affection, you then attach that smell to a very ancient or very young memory. And now you will be gravitated toward that smell because it reminds you. So it takes you back to this place of love. Okay, a love of affection. Now, in the same breath, if you have someone, I don't want to say the father, but let's say your mom. You can say, I don't like saying the mom because usually when your mom carries you and gives birth to you, there's an element of love, right? Because she could have killed you, but she didn't, which is like the most purest love that there could be. You know, I could have killed you so much times, but I did not because I love you. That was a little jokey joke, but anywho. Let's say she drank the rum, and when she got drunk, or when she had the scent of rum, she got angry and she treated you badly, slapped you around, was irrational, whatever the case may be. You will now get a disdain for the smell. You get a disdain for this, and that might be one of the family curses that you may need to break. Okay, so there's two programmers that are very heavy: one of love, one of fear. Okay, that we say all that to get to that bottom of that. Okay, so back to my original consciousness, which I know the answer will be provided when it's time to. I just want to be transparent, is that when we partake in drinking, smoking, things that we know for a fact is causing the living cells in our body to be disrupted, to be imbalanced, right? Because it's either taking away, it's killing, it's disrupting the harmony of the system. Okay. Um, yes, your body has the tools in order to heal it, but too much things in excess will cause it to be cancerous. That's what I think. So I don't know if you can just program your cells mentally and be like, we can smoke and we can drink and nothing will happen to us. Like, I don't know if that's really true, you know? Because it's kind of like you always are going to reap what you sow. I feel like that is a real thing. I just having my own sense, and I'm walking around and I can see if we poison the water in which we are all drinking from, right? We will then in turn be poisoned. Okay. But I do also hear one of my ancestors say that there is a river in, I believe it's India, that's poisoned. And people are constantly drinking from this river because they have built an immunity to the poison. So if one like me come and drink from the river, because I am not naturally found in that ecosystem, right? I have not bonded with the land there. I have not gained whatever antibodies. I will get sick. But the people there are accustomed to living in that. They have the immunity, which goes back to another fundamental principle we already know, right? Your body has everything that it needs. So once it adapts to its environment, it can create the antibodies that's necessary, right? It's kind of like with the flu. If you get exposed to the flu, um, and you have the antibodies to cure it, your body will create that. And everyone kind of walks around with this genius gift from God, right? Immunity. What doesn't kill you literally makes you stronger. right? This is why alcohol tolerance um, is something most likely from your bloodline too, because it's not just you. Right? You have cells from the people who've come before you who've already gotten the codes to overcome it, right? So it's not necessarily meaning don't ever partake. You ever notice that when you stop doing whatever we call it vice for a while, your tolerance gets low, and then you can only take a little bit, and then all of a sudden you get the same effects that you would have gotten if you as if you had just started, because you don't abuse it. You're not doing it in excess, you know? So that is the question. It's mind over matter, right? It's mind and matter, like what you mind will materialize, right? So it's like all of these laws in one. And then going back on, I guess, the left side of your brain where you're like, if you believe something to be true, it will be true. If you want it to heal, it will heal, you know? It's just there's this idea, which I'm not really sure about, is the reaping where you sow, right? So if I put bad things in my body, right, consistently, and I don't allow it a time to heal, um, can I just will myself into healing while still intaking poison or things that are causing imbalance to my system, right? It just doesn't seem sustainable. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's not about not doing it at all, right? Because life is for the living. But what does that really mean to you? Because there's these emotions of invigoration that you get, right? Because tell me, I'm a party girl, okay? I like a good music. I love I like high vibrational music. Like I was saying before, I like music that I can enjoy thoroughly. All my gods could be done, and I'm ingesting good something for my soul, rather than all my gods being done and then I'm putting a spell on myself, right? To be harvested by another entity that does not mean me well. Okay. But again, Ibon. Okay, protection against this stuff, because those things can't really entice my heart. You ever try to go back and listen to some songs that don't have the same pull, right? Same thing with other energies, certain people who just don't have the same. You don't have the same pull because they weren't good for your spirit. They weren't good for your soul, the ascension. Okay, this is just real. I'm just talking truth to power, so that I can shame the deceiver. Okay. So that's where I'm at consciously. These are the things that's been in my brain a little bit. I guess put more good than bad in order to balance it out. But overall, I'm not really sure where we're going with that, because the older people, like I was saying before, the older levels of consciousness have this duty, while they're sharing their consciousness to those coming up who are about to go through different trials in life, in order to send their souls, to teach them the right thing. Okay, teacher, don't teach me nonsense, right? That fellow Kuti song, right? Using music, using your platform, using your words in order to enrich the soil rather than damaging it. Okay, because then you bear the responsibility, whatever consciousness you pass down. Okay. If you are going to pass down consciousness, at least have a clean heart. You ever tell when somebody is giving you consciousness, but it's coming from a traumatized place that they have not healed from? Okay? This is the eyes of discernment for you to see who is who, what is what. This person has not healed from the situation. They're still hurting. So anything that comes for them will be from the lens of hurt and fragmentation. Whereas someone who can experience something, heal from it, have now can give you the consciousness through the eyes of wisdom. Okay? And it's a vibration frequency that helps. Okay? One kind of entraps you into a cycle where you're joining them in the hurt, even though you personally didn't experience it yet. So you can't, it's almost like you can't relate, but you could be guided down making decisions out of a lower level frequency, right? And one empowers you, like, hey, this may exist. This possibility can exist. So make sure that you are guarded and secure while you're moving, that you're not moving unwisely. Okay, that's the difference, I think. All right, let me take a pause. Excuse me. I don't know why when I pressed record, right? It just came, it snuck with that. I drank a sip of my tea, and as soon as I pressed record, this burp just came up. But anywho, back to what I was saying. The other idea is when you are part of something bigger than yourself, right? I am Shamika, okay? You know me as Meek the Minx, okay? Um, and I play my divine role in the play of the consciousness of God, okay? But I embody Shamika fully, all right? And so you have those are you have a sense. I feel a sense of responsibility to my elders. I also feel a sense of responsibility to people who I don't know yet, right? They're not my physical children, but I am here to help in consciousness in some way. Um, and it's not even fun. Half the time I don't even know I'm coming across you guys until I said the thing, and then I get a vibration. Or once I meditate, I get the confirmation like, yes, you met the coordinates and you did the thing that you were supposed to do for this particular person in their soul journey. And I'm like, thanks. And they let me know whether or not I did good or bad, or if I missed the mark, right? And then I have to go back and try to amend or whatever. There's a sense in my personal journey of that, okay? So I say all this to say, with that being understood in my heart space, there's also this idea of the contrast of people pleasing, okay? Where it is a little bit confusing. And this is why, in moments in time, I have to be like, am I serving someone's egoic sense or am I following the consciousness of God, right? Because, like I told you yesterday, everyone could be compromised, whether it be blood, no blood. Okay, or friend, no friend. Anybody could be compromised at any given time. When God tell you to do something, even you, sometimes I'm going to say, even my own self, I have been, what did God tell you to do this morning? Before you got emotionally attached to anything, before you said anything, I gave you particular orders. Go and do this thing. Okay. And it doesn't matter what obstacles are in that way. I told you to go do this thing. So you might come now, well, God, why you tell me to do this? This person don't deserve this. Da, da, da. Remember I was telling you about that Satan spirit? Okay, the consciousness of Satan is the opposer. And then he will look for any reason not to do the thing that we told you to do. She has told you to do. She said, wake up this morning, you have this, and this to do. Okay, thank you for the assignment. Right? And then something happened, and then all of a sudden your emotions, or your lower level emotions, I should say, right? The one that kind of weighs you down, the emotions that weigh you down, like I don't say competition, envy, or self-righteousness. These lower level, when I say lower level, these are heavy emotions. Just say heavy. Let's call them heavy, right? They try to send you thought signals that are just like, what is this alignment? It gets too murky, right? We give you orders, do the orders. It's very simple, right? Because there's a bigger plan, bigger than yourself, right? Mugaju we are bigger than this life that we're living. So I know it's kind of hard because you're interacting with other people's realities while you're still aligned with your own, right? So it's like this idea of people pleasing, all right? Just relax. Okay, make sure every decision that you make is in divine order, and it doesn't come from but you could kind of tell when you're out of place in a scenario, right? Like someone's reality is more dominant than yours. You're not always going to be the reality that your projection of reality is not always going to be the dominant in any given space, but you have every right to remove yourself, get back grounded into yours, and move accordingly. And when you move with purpose, you carry a certain energy. You don't just be in people's face or space for no reason, right? Um, there's a power that comes with that too, by the way. It's like very heavy. You feel when you're in alignment and when you're out of alignment quite easily. So yeah, let me pick a pause. Okay, so people pleasing, unfortunately, will have you in someone else's reality and you don't know what shadows or that they're constantly dealing with or whatever they're trying to make peace with in their soul journey. Okay? So that's why you don't get too attached to other people's realities. Okay? It doesn't matter who they are to you. Stand firm in your own projection. Okay? And that's why it's always so good to listen more than you talk, so that you can fine tune your radio frequency in any given situation. Because I have definitely been in situations where I am watching people who are projecting a certain reality onto me, right? Because I was out of my body. Um, and so they're watching me, and I'm also watching them in spirit. And then the when the spirit, my spirit comes back into my body, it's almost as if it's kind of like time traveling too, right? It's like some people may plot on you. They have a certain energy that is trying to get to you in spirit, or whatever the case may be, but they weren't accounting for the work that was already done, or whatever was guiding you in whatever particular space and time. Certain levels of consciousness that has already existed, right? And so you can see them before they think, but they're thinking they're getting through with whatever plan they are getting through with. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely been in situations like that. Um, and then you just hit the eject button so you could be removed, released. Okay? When you fall, it is a point of realization. You got to catch yourself. That's why you must catch yourself before you have to be caught. Catch yourself before you have to be caught. If you understand what I'm saying, read between the lines what I'm saying. Okay? You have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. Anything else? Yeah, I'm just going to conclude it about, I guess, the stream of consciousness is power in, feed your body good things. This is the temple of God, right? The temple of God is a sacred space. Okay, the more you put love into it, the more you put things of healing and you're working with it, right? Because you are a slave to your body in some form. Okay, and I don't mean to put this in a grim way, but as long as you're in flesh, it's the truth of the matter. Okay. It's literally the truth of the matter, the materialization of your spirit. Clever. But yes, so how you treat this will be how you can reflect what is projected out. Okay. And that even just your presence might be problematic for some people. Just your presence alone will irritate whatever shadows or maybe things that they are deceiving themselves about. Decepticon. Okay. So as long as you keep living in truth, that could be a good foundation for the connection. Do you meet in truth? Do we meet in truth? Because truth can humble. It can also hurt, right? I hear my one of my elders have say that truth hurts, but lies can kill. Truth hurts, but lies can kill. Okay? Thank you for your wisdom. All right? Lies. When you start lying to yourself, right? You start living in a false reality. And when it starts collapsing on itself, it will not be able to sustain. It will be imbalanced. Okay? So we seek truth in all things and we live from our heart space, right? Because our heart will know the truth. Okay, we don't move in impatient spirit. Okay? And for the past couple of readings, I've also said something about competitive energy. I made this statement. I said, who am I better than? All right. What I realized is that that also comes from a hurt frequency, right? I want you to imagine for a second that someone hurt your feelings, somebody that you wanted to be friends with, somebody you wanted to have a relationship, any kind of relation with, right? And then they start trying to put you down. Right now, it would be if you were patient and you had the ears to hear and the eyes to see, you can hear it quicker than later, right? And then some people, this kind of immature spirit who feel as if they treat you badly, that's more you will want to come to them only if you are lacking something. If you're already operating from a fragmented state of mind, like you think you don't have whatever it is that you are projecting on saying will be a friendship or a love or a mother figure. When I told you yesterday, some things that you think that you don't have is hiding in plain sight. It's just you're not recognizing. You haven't changed your perception on the matter to realize you had everything that you needed. All right? And you will always have everything that you need because you're an abundant child. Children of God are abundant. Okay? So there's a force, there's an entity who will try to come up and be like, put you down in order for them to feel some kind of egoic hierarchy above you. Yeah, stand clear of this. Okay? When you meet people, show up as your best self, your most transparent self, because everything is going to work. Whether or not you do it or not, everything is going to be apparent, right? And you can see this once you make it through the different cycles of life. When you make it through different cycles of life, you're going to be like, aha, this person eventually, you cannot maintain a frequency for long. Okay, if it's fraudulent, it's fake, it's going to show up. Fake people get exposed all the time. It's just a matter of time. And people buy time by keeping up an image. Me, not so much. You know what, you see what you get. You understand? If you don't like, it's okay. Go find what you like. I'm not in competition with nobody. Okay? And I allow people to sit where they are. All right? And I still don't think I'm better than you. You just are blind. When you are able to see, okay, you'll be able to be on a frequency that I could possibly see you, but other than that, I can't see you. It reminds me of, that monkey is just like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Some things are just not in resonance. Okay, so, and our paths, we could be in literally the same city, the same location, and our paths will never cross. That is the kind of protection. Anyway, yes. So when people are hurt, sometimes you get into competitive spirit, right? Because you could go back and be like, oh, this person said this thing. I extended friendship, I extended pure-heartedness, and I decided to meet it with bullshit. And when that has occurred, all you have to do is take your extension back and keep it moving with your head held high. You don't cast your pearls to swine. You don't cast your pearls to swine. You understand? Okay? I said it yesterday in a more, I guess, childlike way, which was, if you're wrestling with a pig, you can't tell who's the pig and who is not the pig. Fight you why? For what? This way, when I have to really have to battle, when I have to really battle, right? Peace, right? Alafia mini, right? We're moving in peace all the time. Peace, 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 right? But if the time comes where the Spirit of God is saying, I want you to Lego beast, okay? Then we do it righteously. Stop. I don't want to take it back. I keep talking about this righteousness, right? What I mean is, sometimes you're called to arms, sometimes you're called to peace, but my default is peace, right? And I don't have to think about it too much, because as long as I practice the alignment with God all the time, sometimes you answer back perfectly without even having to think, or because these things don't live in my heart, right? I don't go home and be like, I don't like this person. I don't brood this kind of energy to be putting out malice into the world, right? Because my head not bad. I don't have bad mind. All right. So when you see people and they start bad minding you, and you're like, sometimes you say the right thing without thinking, because you don't have to. I don't want to hold on to your negativity. I don't want you let it out, and I don't deserve your hostility. I don't deserve your aggression. Shout out to Free. Okay. Stream her songs, freestyle. Okay. Yeah, then I did not deserve it. They just watch them like they're crazy. That's what that saying, I'm not the killer, but don't push me. It's not something that needs to be said. It's just something, it's a vibration. It's a vibration. And when you start awakening some ancient beast that we have decided to put to sleep, okay, then you cannot be upset. Okay, but no one has that power over you. It all has to do with the alignment of God consciousness. All right, that's it. Okay, because if you think you are big and bad, there's always a bigger and better. All right, and then once one remove themselves, a bigger one comes. A bigger one will follow. It's just, that's just how it is. Okay, we don't look for problems, but there are those who are there for checks and balances. That's just how life is. Balancers are here because you reap what you sow. I'm just trying to close it out. I'm trying to bring it back to the circle conversation, right? Power in, power out. You're gonna have some hysteresis losses, right? Is that the word, hysteresis? That's an old timeline I used to be on. But it's basically like losses that you get when current is flowing, and just by basic resistance, some of the current gets lost, right? You don't get exactly what you put in. Okay. It's kind of like if you think about nutrients, right? When you kill a plant or you harvest your nutrients from your plant, you're not going to, depending on when you actually eat it, there's going to be losses of the nutrients that are not going to translate to the power out. That's just by natural design. Okay. So that's why you want to eat the freshest of the things, because that's when you're going to get the most nutrients out of the what you're putting in. All right. So make it worse if you are taking away energy or causing imbalance, right? Things that are harmful to your body, trying to overcome that. You kind of want to get the freshest of the freshest. You want to eat it straight off the vine, right? And it's the thing with animals, which is when you eat animal products or animal, really when you talk about meat, right? If it's not fresh meat, right? It's the life force is already kind of like losing from it. And then on top of it, you're cooking out all the nutrients on top of that. And so it's just like, what are you actually eating? You're eating something that's filling a place. That is what we're talking about when we talk about this stuff. Okay. And it is not just about meat products. It's also vegetables. You're eating vegetables when it's actually going bad. The nutrients may not be as good. Right. It just depends. Just depends. Right. Yeah, I think I'm done now. I don't think there's anything more I need to say. These are just some streams of consciousness that I've had. If it connects, if it resonates, if it has helped or adjusted anything in your own stream of consciousness, I'm glad. If not, and you have if you have an answers to the things I was just contemplating, go ahead and leave a comment. I might read it if it's in alignment. And that's it. I hope you have a good day.